Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Lau with Genshin Crafts. Today we are going to be unboxing and reviewing the really beautiful Pelikan M600 Glauco Cambon that was released sometime, I think October or November of last year, so 2023. I didn't really care too much for this pen at first. I wasn't really sold until I saw it in person. I decided to get it once this pen came on sale on Fountain Pen Day. So that was back in November, and I've had a good time to play with this pen and feel it so I can review it for you guys. And let's get going and unbox this thing. So this Pelikan M600 comes in a large white box here, and then we just open the front to yet another box, and this is a really lovely box and it flips open. So here it is. Pelikan Art Collection. It's got gold foil design on here. Okay, it's a black box, and you open it from the front like this. And there you have it, the pen right in the front with the gorgeous painting by Glauco Cambon of the pelicans in the water with the reflections. So this part does have a false bottom, or underneath it there are more stuff. So we'll set this aside for now. So the pen art collection does come with this beautiful, lovely like cardstock of the painting by Glauco Cambon, and the painting is reflective. So it is really pretty, and I just love the rainbow colors that Glauco Cambon used on these pelicans. Super beautiful. So you get this and you can hang it up. Okay, and then it also comes with, and I think there's nothing else. It comes with the Pelikan Art Collection booklet here, which details the history of the artists and the creation of this pen. So a little bit of art history before we head on to the rest of the pen. This is such a great book. It details pretty quickly about everything. So basically Glauco Cambon entered his art piece into a competition back in, I believe, early 1900s. Yeah, in 1909 he submitted his artwork, which is the pelicans in the water. He made it for Gunther Wagner, which is a company selling watercolor paints. So it was a competition to promote these watercolor, and with his submission he won an award for it. So Pelikan decided to buy Glauco Cambon's art piece as part of their art collection, and I believe that this is going to be the first of a series of Pelikan pens that will be created based off of Pelikan's art collection. And I think this was a really beautiful and such a showstopper of the beginning of this series. So great pen, and it is definitely very different from the rest of the M600 series. Okay, so let's put that aside and now get back to the pen. Oh, beautiful. Okay, let's take it out of the plastic that it came in. All right, let's take a closer look at the pen. So you can see here that when there's no light shining on the barrel, it's just like dark black. But when the light hits it, you see this gorgeous array of guilloched pattern, and it's got a lovely, beautiful holographic colors just sparkling right to your eyes. It's very magical. So like basically if you don't see it at the right angle, it's just dark, like right there. You can see you can see some bits of it, but it's basically black. And then here where the light touches it or hits it right, you see the colors. So that's the magic of this pen. I'm gonna put this aside. That's the magic of this pen, where it just sparkles in the light perfectly. It's a gorgeous pen. Okay, and this is the M600 model, so it is a smaller pen. So as you can see in my hands here, it's about the size of my hand, which is really small. The pen features the usual Pelikan finial there with the chick eating the chick and the mother pelican. Let's see, yeah, it's very, there it is. Okay, and then it's got the bill clip, which is well functioning. The cap here is black and the piston knob is also black. Both of these parts are made of resin that can self-polish itself, which is really, really wonderful. So basically what that means is that I believe that if there are like micro scratches, that it can polish itself. If there are dust on there, like it's easy to clean out as well. So that's really, really great that they use that kind of resin. And then the clip, as well as these double ring here that says Germany. Okay, it says Germany, Pelikan Souverain, or Pelikan Souverain. And these parts are finished with 24 karat gold. So it's coated with 24 karat gold. It's not 24 karat gold itself. Okay, and then we open the pen, and we have the M600 nib. So the M600 nib is a very tiny, it's a tinier nib. It's very thin, as you can see here. So in comparison, I would say that this is about a number 5 nib. So it's about the same as a TWSBI Eco's number 5. And the nib is two-toned. I'm not sure if my lighting is showing that too well. Okay, so the nib is two-toned. It has absolutely beautiful inscriptions on there. The scroll work is just so magnificent. And of course it has the Pelikan logo on there, which is such a nice touch. And then I got this in a fine nib. And Pelikan nibs can be just removed for easy cleaning, or if you want a different nib size, you can just put it in there, but it has to be the right M size. So if this is a M600, so if I wanted, like, say, a broad nib, then I would buy a broad M600 nib replacement to put in here. Also, the section part of this M600 is also made of that self-polishing resin. The main difference from this M600 and other M600s is that this barrel part here is made of brass. And I can feel the difference here. It's like holding it in my hands, it's almost like I'm holding a piece of stained glass to me, and like very, very beautiful marbled stained glass. Something like that, a mix between marble and stained glass. It feels really sturdy and heavy like glass. But it's not glass, it is just brass. And so in creating this pen, what they did was they took a rod of brass, a brass barrel, and they engraved these pieces in here, right? All these little shapes of the pelican's reflection in the water. And then they applied guilloche designs, which are the very fine little lines you can see in here. Yeah, all those, if you can see closer, like you can see all the little minute lines in there. That's what guilloche pattern is. And so they applied the guilloche pattern to it, applied 10 layers of lacquer over this to create this really smooth glass feel in the body. And then they applied like a laser art print of these colors over the lacquer, which then creates this beautiful holographic design. And that is called the Aurora process. So this pen just has so much going for it that it's unique, innovative, and definitely really wowed the whole Pelikan community and myself even with how amazingly unique and different this pen is. And I was very disappointed when I got my first M605. Like, not terribly disappointed because I expected it to be light, but this pen is not light. It is, I mean, it's light, but it's also hefty and heavy, and it feels like its price. So this is definitely heavier. So let's just take a quick look at that beautiful design close up before we move on. Gorgeous. I do see just a little hint of like light blue throughout, but it's mostly orange, yellow, and greens. Like you see a very, very small hint of red and a small hint of blue throughout, but it's so beautiful. Okay, so this pen, let's see, it takes less than one full rotation to open, and you can feel the difference in in capping and uncapping this pen because the barrel is made of brass and the cap here is still made of resin. It does have a different kind of feeling when you cap and uncap it. So that's normal because of the difference in these materials. I believe that the thread here is also resin too, actually, but because of the brass body, it just feels slightly different. It feels less plastic. Let's just say that, because the M600, my black tortoiseshell, felt like plastic to me all throughout, but this one doesn't. It doesn't feel that way. Okay. All right. It feels great in my hands unposted. I do like to post my M605s because it just is a much nicer length that way, and it doesn't back weight the pen at all. So I see Simone doing this, but like, I don't know if I can ever do that. But just, it feels great in my hands this way. If you have smaller hands, then this one will be perfect because the weight is all distributed in the barrel, and it is also nice and short. Let's have a comparison with other pens. But before I do that, let's look at the weight of this pen. Let's see. So that we can see a comparison between this and the M600 regular M600s. So this pen comes to a total of 28 grams capped or posted. And if you don't post it, then the pen itself is 22 grams, and that's lovely. I like my pens somewhere between 18 to 25 grams. That's like a comfortable weight for me. So this fits in there just right. So it's 28 grams posted, 22 unposted. And then let's look at the M605 Black Tortoise Shell. This is the lighter version with just a resin body. So the pen itself is 18 grams. The whole thing posted is lighter than the Glauco Cambon unposted. And then sometimes I like this length, but because it's so light, it just doesn't feel great. And 18 grams is okay, so that's why, like, I'm not terribly disappointed. I just wish that it was had a little bit more weight to it because I love this design so much. And then let's see, yeah, so by itself it's about 10 grams. I do have ink in there right now, so it's about 11 grams. So I have ink in both, so actually if you just take 1 gram off, so this will probably be about 28, 27 grams without any ink in it. And then we'll just compare the weight with the M1000 so you can see and know what the difference is. So again, this one was 28 posted and about 22 unposted. This M1000 is 34 posted, so it's about 6 grams heavier. And the pen itself is 23 grams, so it's about 2 grams heavier, and they both have ink. So that just means that this M605 brass body is almost the same weight as the M1000 unposted, and this pen has to be written unposted for me. I think that if you do write it posted, you must have pretty large hands because this is pretty big. But the weight of 23 grams is perfect for most hands and comfortable long writing sessions. But it is a really thick boy. This one is not as thick, but it fits perfectly in my fingers and my grip. So I have here some pens to compare with the M600. Okay, so as you can see, I have a Pilot Custom 823, the Pelikan M1000, my Leonardo Momento Zero, the TWSBI Eco, the Lamy 2000, and then here's a Glauco Cambon, Sailor Pro Gear, and a Kaweco AL Sport. So this is how it lines up in terms of length, capped. So it is a shorter pen in comparison to these other pens that I use. It is much more similar to a Pro Gear, and I believe Pro Gears are about 26 grams. So this one is actually heavier than the Pro Gear because of the brass body. All right, and then let's look at these unposted. All right, once unposted, so it's about the same length as the Lamy 2000, and it's almost the same height as the Leonardo Momento Zero as well. And I like my Leonardo Momento Zero posted, actually. So that means these two I prefer posted, and it's much longer than the Sailor Pro Gear unposted. And then posted. All right, when posted, it is about the same size, again, as the Lamy 2000. So if you like your Lamy 2000, M600 is about that same size when posted, and it is slightly longer than the Sailor Pro Gear, and then shorter than the rest of these over here, which are, they're super long. All right, so let's just put these away, and then we will do a writing sample, and then we'll talk about the price and some pros and cons. All right, so today we're going to be using my day-free journal, which has the new Tomoe River Suns and paper, and I have it in my beautiful, beautiful leather cover here, which has my YouTube channel name here, Kenshin Crafts. Okay, and so I think I'm going to dedicate this book to my pen reviews when I do writing samples. Okay, so I have in here a Pelikan ink. This is Pelikan Edelstein Apatite. Okay, so this is Pelikan. M600 Glauco Cambon. This is a fine nib. Okay, ink is Pelikan Edelstein Apatite. Okay, let's put it there. All right, let's do regular print. The quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. So as you can see, I'm using about 2 squares worth of, these lines to write. I am writing bigger, and so this is a much thicker nib. Pelikan's nibs are about a size bigger than most Western nibs. So this is a Pelikan Fine, which I think writes like a normal Yovo medium, like one that is regular, not a really wetly tuned Yovo medium. So if you are looking for, say, if you enjoy medium, then go for a fine Pelikan. If you enjoy an extra fine Yovo, the extra fine Pelikan extra fine is about a fine, a Yovo fine. So you'll have to grind your nib if you want something much thinner than a Yovo fine. Let's look at line variation. So there are just a little bit of line variation, as you can see here, and the nib is a little bouncy, just a tiny bit. Here's a wetness test. So you can see here, it's Apatite is supposed to be a dry ink. So that's where you can see here it's very dry, which is good because Pelikan's nibs and feed write really wet. So their inks tend to be on the drier side so that you don't have like a gushing amount of ink. So I really like this. I would say that this Appetite ink with the pen wetness combo is about a 5 on the scale, because you can see how saturated this ink is, and it doesn't smear too far, so it's about an average flow, and it comes out really smoothly. This nib writes ultra smooth, and it does have a feedback to it, if you heard that. Okay, so if you use much wetter inks, you'll get a lot wetter lines and probably a little thicker too. And if you use even drier than Pelikan Appetite, then you'll have slightly thinner lines, but not terribly noticeable, and it will be less wet as well. Now let me just compare this with the extra fine. So you can see the difference in Pelikan pens. So this is Pelikan M600 fine. There's the line. Here's Pelikan extra fine. Yeah, to me this feels like a Yovo fine. It's really nice and fine line, but it's a little thicker than normal, so I think I do prefer the Pelikan's extra fine, and it writes so smoothly for an extra fine. And then here is the Pelikan M1000 extra fine, which if you haven't watched already, you should go watch my Pelikan extra fine comparison video. This M1000 extra fine. So you can see here the Pelikan extra fine here writes a little, just a tiny bit thicker than the Pelikan M600 fine. So you can also see the difference between a Pelikan and a Lamy fine. So the Lamy 2000 fine and the Pelikan M600 fine are pretty similar. And here is the Pilot Custom 823. This is the 823 medium. So the 823 medium writes a little thicker than my fine. I'm not sure why it's so so thick. And here is a Yovo fine, so you can see what I meant by how the Pelikan extra fine writes more like a Yovo fine. TWSBI Eco fine. Okay, so if we take a closer look, you can see here the TWSBI Eco fine writes pretty similar to this Pelikan extra fine. So again, like I said, if you like your TWSBI Eco fines, extra fine Pelikan would be the pen to go for. If you like, say, the Lamy 2000 fine, the Pelikan M600 fine is perfect. And if you like a Lamy 2000 medium or a Pilot Custom 823 medium, then go for the Pelikan M600 medium. All right, and go for the broad if you like super thick, juicy lines. Is what I would, recommend. All right, now let's talk about some pros and cons of this pen. So this Pelikan M600 Glauco Cambon is not priced like your regular M600. The Glauco Cambon retails for about $632 USD in the US. And I don't know the reasons or like the discussion about why it's so darn expensive here in America, but if you can find it for deals here in America, go for that first. So it's $632 on Atlas Stationers, and I am an affiliate there, so if you use my code LOUD10, you can get this for 10% off. Okay, so the price is $632 with 10% off code. It is $568. Okay, so $568. Do I think it's worth $568? Yeah, I think this pen used quite a lot of engineering into creating, and Pelikan nibs are almost always pristine. They write amazingly well right out of the box, almost 100% of the time, and you can't really say that for a lot of other brands. I have seen this, and I bought this from Appleboon for, let's see, and the skipping you're seeing here is because I'm letting it stay out here, so it's just drying up as I'm talking. So I got this from Appleboon for $440, which I think is a really great price. You can also get this at Zaf Pens. I love Zaf Pens. They are in Athens, Greece. Zaf Pens, you can get it for 455 USD. And if you live in America, then yes, getting from overseas is much cheaper. If you're in the EU, then you have to pay VAT, which then makes it more expensive. So it'll be about $568 if you buy it from anywhere in the world, including America. And that is the price at Atlas Stationers. It could be different at other retails too. Okay, so there you go. That is the price. I do think that it is worth it for the price that I got it for. It is amazing. It writes amazing. It's beautiful to look at and hold in my hands. So it kind of, just fits all the bill for what a luxury pen should be. So for the pros of this pen, the body feels luxurious. Oh, you know what? I think I'm out of ink. Let me go refill this. That's why. Appetite is supposed to be greener and brighter than this. So I think it's why I got it so dark, because there's almost no more ink in there. Okay, so the body feels luxurious and expensive. Wow, it's very blue. Okay, body, resin, self-polishes. The 14-karat gold nib writes smooth with feedback. It's a good amount of feedback. Barrel is brass and beautiful to look at. The nib writes wet and is well tuned. There's just so many great things to say about this nib and feed unit. Again, as all Pelikan M series, nib can be removed for easy cleaning. Piston mechanism is impeccable. It really is. All Pelikan Souverain pens have piston where you just need to twist it twice and you get a full fill. So it's really easy to fill and really easy to clean. It's a heftier M600 pen. So this will fit the bill for all of you M600 lovers who wanted a heavier pen, and then also be great for the M800 folks who really wanted a smaller pen than the M800 but liked that weight. So basically it will make all the M600, M800 lovers happy. If you are an M400 person, then this is probably going to be too heavy for you. So the cons for this pen, the price is definitely a con, and it's not a cheap pen. At $632 USD in the US, it's expensive, and even with the discount, buying it from Europe for $4.40, that's still expensive. It's not a cheap pen. But I think that the experience that you get with this nib and the pen itself is definitely worth this price. Not much line variation on the nib. So as with most M600 and M800 series, these nibs are a little more on the stiff side. They're just a little bouncy because they're made of gold, but you can't really get line variations out of these pens. If you do, it's very minimal, as you can see here with my figure eights. The nibs right on the broader side. And if you like using wet inks, it's not going to be the best pairing if you don't want a gushing pen nib, or if you don't want a gushing pen. So you'll have to be pretty particular about which inks you put into the Pelikan pens. I just found that Apatite was well behaving in all of my pens, whether they're wet or dry. And so I always thought the Pelikan Apatite was a wet ink, but it's actually a dry ink. So it comes out of this nib just perfectly fine. But again, it does write on the broadside, so if you like a thinner nib, you'll have to get an extra fine and get that custom grounded. So I forgot to mention in one of the cons as well, it doesn't come with an ink window, but that's okay with me because this pen just looks so beautiful. And I feel like if you put an ink window right there, it would kind of disrupt this gouache design. So yeah, I mean, take the ink window for what you will. If you do like your Pelikans with ink window or some translucency to see the ink, this one does not come with that. So that may deter some of you, but to me, I don't mind it. So I think that's about it for my pros and cons, which, it's a lot of great things to say about this Pelikan pen. Do I recommend this pen? I absolutely do. It is so beautiful. If you're a Pelikan lover and collector, this is a pen you will want in your collection. And I'm excited to see what they come out with in the next art collections. Maybe put it in an M800 pen, but it's going to be brass. They might use a brass barrel again for M800, so that might be a very heavy pen, but actually the M800 is really great unposted, so I think the weight of that would be somewhere around 28 grams anyways, because the barrel of this pen is 22 grams. So if the M800 has a collection series, art collection is in the art collection series, I think M800 fans will be super happy. So let me know down in the comments what you think the next Pelikan art collection series pen will be, whether it's a 400, 600, 800, or I don't know if they're going to do a 1000. I think that's just not obtainable to a lot of people. So probably going to be another 600. And I hope that they continue to be really cool and innovative with these pens. It's so nice. I really love this pen so much. So yes. Thank you so much for joining me in my review of the Pelikan M8 or M600 Glauco Cambon. Lovely pen. You should get it if you haven't, but definitely find it at a good sale. Yeah, if you found that helpful and enjoyed your time with me here, please leave a like and comment down below. It really helps my channel. That's all you have to do. Just hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. I do lots of educational learning videos about pens and just unbox my beautiful pens together with you guys. So yeah, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.